Prologue. The beginning. Larry sat down heavily in the rocking chair on his front porch, wheezing a bit from finally finishing the extension on the wall. It had taken long, hard work, but now this small settlement would truly grow into a town, safe within the borders of the wall. He sat rocking gently back and forth, watching as the children played in the hot summer sun. Two small boys ran up to the porch. One of them was holding something clenched tightly in his tiny fist.
Grandpa, Grandpa!
Smiling at their energy, Larry leaned down toward them.
What did you find, my child?
The little boy held his hands out in front of him and opened them, cupping whatever it was upward, as if to stop it from getting away, while the other boy crowded in and looked up at the old man. He peered into the boy's hands, and a glint of reflected light shone, sparkling on a strange black rock, flint that had been carved into some sort of arrowhead shape. Chuckling, he sat back again.
Looks like you boys found a shard from an ancient civilization.
He grinned at their twin expressions of astonishment.
Yes, that was a tool or the tip of an arrow, used by people from long ago. I used to hear legends about a people who might have lived here once, but I'm sure you boys are too busy to listen to that story.
He pretended to close his eyes as if going to sleep. In unison, the two boys cried out.
No, what legend?
The one holding the arrowhead clenched it tighter.
Please tell us, Grandpa.
The other little boy nodded vigorously.
We aren't busy at all, Mr. Grandpa, sir.
Trying to hide his smile, Larry opened his eyes again.
Oh, very well. If you insist.
He took a deep breath.
This is a story my mother would tell me, that her father told her back from before we ever moved to this place. In fact, the legends of the people that lived here were their favorites, and when they decided to move, they picked right here for that exact reason. They said that the people who lived here were both primitive and very advanced. They still fought with simple stone swords and wore armor made from the leather of the animals they hunted to survive. But they were also master craftsmen with this stone and could carve and build incredible buildings from it.
He looked thoughtfully at the two boys.
We have found some ruins, mostly just leftover bricks and stones out in the woods while we're building. Perhaps when you are both a bit older, I'll take you to see them.
He cleared his throat before they could say anything.
But anyway, it was said that these people never worked irons or metals, but instead they could work magic.
He wiggled his fingers at the boys.
Potions and enchantments, spells of protection and deadly poisons. They used these to fight the monsters that live in this world. But more than that, it was said that they could use this magic for travel to different places, a different dimension. They created portals to the fiery underworld and traveled there to fight back against the powerful monsters that live below the bedrock. Sometimes I even heard that they could travel through time.
Gaping, his grandson stammered.
Those monsters won't come here, will they?
He glanced around, and even his friend looked a little nervous at the thought. Immediately, Larry felt bad.
Of course not. Those are just myths and legends, not real things. The only monsters you ever have to worry about are the ones in this world, and you are safe behind these walls. Nothing can get to you here.
Once he saw that they had calmed down, he continued his story, moving on to a less intimidating topic.
Somewhere around here, there used to be an enormous city built from stone and brick, with towering buildings and majestic arches. It was the biggest one in the world at the time, and they lived there happy and peaceful, much like how we are trying to live here after them. Only their adventurers and heroes went out to defend the city and fight the monsters.
The other boy piped up.
But, sir, if there used to be a city here, where did it go? There isn't anything but trees here anymore.
Surprised at how perceptive the little boy was, Grandpa paused.
Well, it was a long time ago. And maybe it wasn't right here, but somewhere hidden in the forest.
He smiled.
Or perhaps they could fly with their magic, and they enchanted their city to fly high above our heads. Or perhaps they loved stone so much that they moved underground and built their city underneath our very feet.
He shrugged.
It was a legend, boys, which is truth and lies mixed together until you can't tell which is which. But,
he said,
there was a civilization here once, as you can tell from the very stone you hold in your hands.
He gently touched the tiny arrowhead, and the two boys gaped at it.
Maybe you should go and see if you can find some more.
They scrambled to their feet and, without even saying goodbye, excitedly dashed out into the street again and started sifting through the dust and dirt. The old man watched them happily.
One day,
He thought,
my grandson will have to take over after his father, who will have taken over after me. It's a good thing he has time to play and be a child, safe in these walls, because leadership is a tough role to fill.